How is it going, everyone? It's K Limited here, and today we're going to be talking about the very first PlayStation 5 game on this channel, Kena and the Bridge of Spirits. This game, first of all, let me just get right to the point. This game is amazing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. This is probably the best looking game I've ever played, and I would really love there to be some sort of sequel at some point. This game looks like an animated movie. It looks like a Pixar movie or a Universal movie or something like that. It looks so good. The cutscenes are amazing. The environment, the lighting, everything about this just looks so good. And the gameplay is so smooth. It plays so well. And I absolutely love the gameplay. It's really fun because it's kind of like a hack and slash in a lot of ways, but then you also get different weapons as you go along. So you eventually unlock a bow and arrow, and you also unlock some bombs and stuff. And you can also upgrade your character, so your character will get different ways to basically have different combos and basically combine your attacks for more damage. Like, there's an upgrade that lets you throw the bomb, and then if you shoot the bomb with your bow and arrow, it causes more damage. It's just stuff like that. So there's a lot of good combat mechanics here. Very simple stuff, but very good stuff. They kept it simple, but they kept it still in a way that is interesting and different, and I like that a lot. This game has a beautiful story as well. The story is absolutely fantastic. The first story in this game is amazing, and I actually think the first story, the first event where you meet these two twins and their older brother, I really think that story should have been like the main event, because it kind of overshadowed all the other stories, because it had the biggest impact. It had the biggest, like, pull on the heartstrings. I almost cried during the first story, and that didn't happen with the other ones. But while the other stories are still good, they just, they pale in comparison to the first story. The first story was too good. They set up the story a little bit too strong at the get-go. I feel like that should have been the main event. Because, there's a main villain in this, but he's not very interesting, honestly. And, there's a love story in the second arc, and it's fine, but it's kind of basic. It doesn't really do anything special. But that first story was just so intense that I was just like, oh man, why did they not put this as the main event? But it is what it is. It's not a big deal. Obviously, they didn't do it because it wouldn't explain what happened in the game to cause this, basically, corruption that's spreading around. But still, it was so good, and it just felt out of place being at the very beginning of the game. But the story itself, I should talk about what that's about. There's a bunch of corruption going around this village, and basically the entire village has been wiped out, and you are someone who is helping these spirits go to the other side. You're basically a spirit guide. You're helping them basically fix whatever problems they had before they died that they didn't get to resolve. So any regrets that they have, or if they can't forgive themselves, you're there to basically help them and figure out whatever problem they had so they can pass on and finally rest in peace. It's really well done. It's very beautiful, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was very well done. Like I said, the main character himself, the main villain himself, he's not very interesting, but I feel like he's there to kind of glue everything together and have a reason for why that corruption is there. It's not the greatest explanation in the world, but it's fine for what it is. I really like the themes of this game. I really like the way that everything looks. It has a very kind of like Asian art style to it that looks really good, and I really love the way it looks. And just the boss fights that are in this game and the combat and everything is really good. There's a ton of different boss fights that you get into, especially towards the end of the game, and they're all pretty fun. I liked pretty much all of them. I actually think the best boss fight actually is in the second story when you're going against the blacksmith. Like, that boss fight against her is pretty cool, I gotta say. I really like that one. That was a really neat boss fight. And overall, I think that all the stories resolve pretty well. The only one I wasn't a huge fan of, the way it ended, was the story with what's called the Rot. There's these little furball creatures that you can find. They're little hidden creatures that you can find without the area, and they basically help you throughout the entire game. They are super powerful. Like, you can use them to upgrade. Like, if you shoot your bow, you can press a button and have it basically called a rot arrow, and it will cause more damage and stuff. They will help you with puzzles. They will help you, just there's all sorts of different things that these little fuzzballs do. And they help you throughout the entire game, and you really get attached to them. And I feel like the way that they handled it at the very end just wasn't very satisfactory. I think they could have done it better. And I also didn't like that this game actually has an ending. It has one of those game endings where, it's like, oh, it ends, but you can do a new game plus, or you can load before the end of the game. And I don't like that. I like to be able to beat the game and continue playing in the world with the results of, the game with the results of the story being set. You know what I mean? I like being able to play past the end of the game. I want to see what the world looks like after the story is complete, and I get that in this case it wouldn't really work. I get that, but I feel like they should have made it work because, like I said, the ending with the rot and everything, I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but it wasn't satisfactory anyway, so I think they should have just taken that a different route and let you keep playing the game on your save after you beat it. That way you can see what the world looks like, and you can continue finding all the other secrets and stuff in the world, because there's a lot of stuff to find within the world. There's a lot of rot that you can find, a lot more of these little fur balls that you can find. There's different hats and cosmetic items that you can find. There's different outfits that you can get for the main character. There's all sorts of different stuff to do in this game, and it would have been really great to be able to keep playing after you beat the game and find all that stuff. But unfortunately, you can still, I guess, do that, but it's like before the end of the game. You have to load a save before the end of the game, and to me that's just like, it takes out a little bit of the excitement in it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just something that bugs me. It was the same thing in Fallout New Vegas. I was never a big fan of how Fallout New Vegas ended. Like, you had to save before the end of the game. Like, yes, technically you can keep playing, but you'll never have that save with the game complete, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain other than that. Like, it's just something that bugs me personally. It probably doesn't bug anyone else, but it irritates the crap out of me. But anyway, even though it has that slight issue, and there's some, like I said, there's some issues with how they set the story. Like I said, I think some stories should have been placed in different areas and stuff. Even with those flaws, it's still an amazing game, and it's something that you should not miss. I picked this game up for about $20. This game, I think, is usually $40. That's a completely fair price for this game because it is really well done. It plays very well. It looks great. And it's just a really fun time with a lot of interesting characters. There's not a single character in this game that I didn't like. Everything is very well done. Everything's very well placed together. Just like I said, there's only one story that the story with the rot, I wish they could have ended it a little bit differently so you could keep playing the game, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal. Overall, go play this game. Thank you for watching this video. Go check out Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and I will talk to you in the next video. You have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.